Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we are off for more of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And in the last episode, we pretty much went through the entire world checking out every house, including the ones that we were told to check out in Kakariko Village, and we also went to the potion shop, getting the magic powder. We finally found the elder Sahasrahla, and now we got to dodge these Olmo statues in order to get to the Eastern Palace to prove our worth in order to be worthy on searching for the Master Sword. Because only the true hero can obtain the Pendant of Courage, so if this is going to be a fool's errand, we would probably die anyway due to being wanted by the quote-unquote king, also known as Aghanim, masquerading and trying to capture all the 7 sages. Getting up here is not that big of an issue, it's quite simple for a quarry, but this place definitely looks grand, and it's where we need to be. Oh, in fact, we can see where all the other stuff are as well, which, for some reason I don't actually remember that being a thing. I thought you had to do the Pendant of Courage first in order to unlock the other locations, and then you talk to Sahasrahla again after you get the Pendant of Courage in order for them to be unlocked. I'm guessing that's something that was changed in the GBA version, I just never noticed. That's the thing, even though I play these games quite a lot in order to, you know, plan ahead and know what I'm on about, I still learn new things even when I'm recording, because I don't, like, pay them second mind until I record, so that's a thing. Anyway, we are in the first dungeon, the Eastern Palace. That's a GBA change as well. It actually tells you the name of the dungeon. It's not just, oh, like, well, it's not just Hyrule Dungeon 1 or whatever. It actually has a name. That's not the right way. It's definitely the first way. Then again, it was locked, but the switch to open the door was in front of it as well, so not really that subtle. These guys drop a lot of money. I'll tell you that. As you see there, that was a lot of money. For the most part, I can one-shot all those, and again, we have a switch in order to open a doorway. I'm probably going to be blasting through the dungeons, because I just know what to do. They're pretty much just obstacle challenges, but they're not as simple as, like, oh, square room of enemies, square room with a pushable block, that you have to defeat all the enemies. Oh, boy. We got to dodge some bowling balls here, and that one almost bowled me right over, even though I did get hit by one of them. But we did see a chest while passing by, so we'll head up and around in order to go grab this one. 100 rupees, and we can actually get the hell out of dodge if we want to by jumping down the ledge. But why would I do that and dodge bowling balls again? We got to get deeper in, and I'd rather save myself the aggro and just walk back around the way I came in. So let's go do that. So let's check where we are so far. We've gone quite deep already. Big room here with a red bar. If we look over the edge here, you would be able to see it in the SNES version. There's a big chest in the corner there. In consideration to the map, it seems like that big chests are marked with red, so they must be important. Well, they must be if they're going to be big, but there you go. We've also got some Stale Childs walking around, so I'm going to have to deal with them as well. Thing is, they jump away when you slash at them. So you either got to get them into a corner, and then you can wail on them, or you can blow them up with a bomb, because bombs are pretty much good area damage for a certain location, or you just walk up to them, release a spin attack, and they won't have enough time to jump away because the energy beam, they won't see it coming in time. This is an anti-fairy. Don't let it touch you, because if you do, not only will you take damage, but you'll also lose magic. However, if you use magic against it, it will become an actual fairy, not an anti-fairy, but a proper fairy, and that will heal you 7 hearts in this game. They also act as extra lives if you catch them with the bug catching net and put them in a bottle. So, considering that this game can get quite difficult with its damage output, because that is really the biggest issue in this game in terms of its difficulty, it's always good to at least have one fairy on you in case if you just end up taking a lot more damage than you'd expect. Chest here. Dungeon map again. We already know how that works. So let's have a look at what the dungeon is. So it's kind of symmetrical for the most part on the first floor, well, the ground floor even. But on the second floor, it seems like it's just a straight-on path deep into the mountains outside. Well, before you go past the waterfall, the waterfalls that we were going to head towards, but we can't pick up stones, so that's not exactly that helpful. We can pick up pots, we can pick up grass, but we can't pick up stones, so we're going to have to worry about that later. There we are. So let's head to the left. Got more Stale Childs here. Just do the old usual spin attack Rooney. As I said before, it does double damage than a normal sword swipe of your sword's power level, which, as I've said before, is level 1. It's the number next to the sword icon. So keep that in mind. That's pretty much how much damage you're going to be doing with your blade. Although in this room, I prefer to use the pots because it looks like we can't go any further forward, but out from the remains of the floor... hello? Oh, there we go! Wow, that was delayed! I don't remember that being super delayed. I'm a bit confused as to why that took a while. Okay, the game is making me feel weird. It's weirding me out, mate. Right, so I was going to use the pots to one-shot all these guys, but that didn't happen because they kept me waiting. So I have to use my spin attack anyway. Look at me being all clever, then the game snubs me. It's like it knows I'm finally recording the bloody thing. Putting it off long enough. Seriously, I've been wanting to do this for like a few years. That's the first time that we got the compass. It can pinpoint the boss's location. It's apparently on the first floor at the end of the set of rooms, which made sense. I kind of half spoiled that already. But, you know, where else are going to be? All the other rooms interconnect. So it would have to be in a dead end. Oh, okay. I can hear voices through these panels. Scatlink, it is I, Sahasrahla. I can talk to you telepathically when you touch these tiles. I have advice for you. The treasure hidden in this palace will help you defeat armored foes. By piercing through their armor? I was holding down for a second there. Link was facing up. Yeah, that's weird. Look at that. I'm pressing down right now. Weird hitboxes. I don't know if that's a quirk in the GBA version, because, like I said, the physics for the most part are pretty much... In fact, the game's inner workings are pretty much one-to-one with the Super Nintendo version of it. It was all recreated. It is definitely a remake, but it feels like a port, because it's just that well done. I'm probably seeing like a broken record. In fact, I can get more... I can get another fairy here. Navigating this menu is a little bit janky when there's not an item that's directly within a button press away. I absorbed that fairy. That was annoying. I didn't really want to do that. Come back here, you. That was me being an idiot, because last time it was on top of me, so I absorbed it. That time I was above it, and the fairy would, you know, take flight, and it touched my head. So, great. It's not really easy seeing our way through these rooms, but there are no braziers in these rooms in order to actually shine the way. So the lamp's cone of sight is the only way we're going to be able to see what we're doing here, but I think we've cleared this out pretty well. There we are, that's the key that we need. Even though you wouldn't think that we need that, you would have saw it on the left side of the room if I go back and make my way toward it. There we are. And notice also a GBA change. If you max out a quantity of an item on your HUD, it will actually be highlighted in yellow, so you actually know that it's your maximum. So that was the first room again. Kind of made our way around that. Also, regional change. This actually used to be the Star of David on the original Super Nintendo version, but then it was changed to... I forget what symbol. I think it was a bunch of squares, but now it's a lot more simplified for this one. I'm not entirely too sure why they changed it again. Oh, it's an Igor. Igors are actually pretty easy in this one. When you're close, they will wake up. Green ones take quite a lot of abuse with your sword, but we do need to actually take out all enemies in this room. Spin attacks, as I've said once again, are your friend for both crowd control. Ouch! I thought there was another Stale Child at the top of the room. Wasn't expecting that. And I'd rather take these guys out rather than them actually absorbing all my magic. Because even though I'm going to spend magic, they were surrounding a switch. And that gives us the boss key. Big key. Boss key. It's the same thing. It's used to get to the boss as well. So, yeah. But it does have multifunction in this game. As we've already noticed with Zelda. Oh my god, I can't hit these guys for beams! Screw it, I'm leaving this room. This is a big one, and you need to use the big key in order to get through that as well. But now that we have the big key, we should be able to access the big chest. I didn't actually check the big chest, because it will just tell you need a big key. That's just me knowing this game so well. But it would have told you that you need the big key in order to open it. But we wouldn't have been able to go further in the dungeon anyway, because as you can see, there's another big lock up there. There we are. Kill you. Aha! You found the bow! Now you can shoot arrows at least till you run out. And we've also been given 10 arrows, which wasn't a thing in the Super Nintendo version. Nope. That didn't do none. Yeah, this chest was booby-trapped. Just keep deflecting the heads. You can actually shoot them with the bow as well, but there's no need because they'll fly away anyway. And as a general rule, anything with an eye, super weak to arrows. The green eyeballs get one-shotted by them. So enemies do have weaknesses, and that actually gave me quite a lot of arrows. If I pause, notice that the big key icon now has a chest on it. That means that we have opened the big chest, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. And even though it's still marked on the map, that's how you know that you already have it. You can actually jump down these pots, and these pots normally take you to a secret grotto where you can get fairies. So even in the first dungeon, as long as you have the bug catching net and a bottle, you can keep an extra life on you whenever you need. And if not, just good heals. And that's what these symbols are for. A lot of people never knew that. Oh god, it's dark again. Let's see what we got so far. We've cleared out every room thus far. We've only got the pathway to the boss to do now. That's a lot of cabbages. I always used to call these things cabbages. But they kind of like wiggle. They're like kind of octo things. Oh, give me that money, please. Thank you. Nope. I could use the boomerang, but I should be using the bow. Don't start firing at them until they actually start coming for you, because otherwise they're invincible. Their eye is definitely the weak spot, and that's what you have to hit. This way is completely optional, but if you do head into this room, not only are there once again more anti-fairies, Jesus Christ, but there is also quite a lot of money for you to pick up. Ripe for the picking. They do not regenerate, they're only a one-time thing, but that was pretty much the hidden treasury of this dungeon. Most dungeons have those special rooms, so if you need a bit of extra money, go for them. We already have like half a wallet full. That is insane. I'm not letting these guys get away with taking my magic. Nope. Bloody hell. I don't normally have this bad of a time trying to turn these things into fairies. I'm normally quite good. There we go. Looks like I'm getting messed up in multiple ways here. 5 arrows. That's the switch we need. More arrows. As I said, we can hold up to 30 arrows, so we do need to build them up. There's only one thing that I would like on the Super Nintendo version that was added in randomizers. Oh, that was the right one. Well, that was quick. Yeah, some of these switches are fake, as you'll see in a minute. Ouch. Yeah, these ones don't actually press. They're to fake you out. It's not like that's difficult, though. I mean, this is the first dungeon, so it's supposed to be difficult. But as I was saying, with the Super Nintendo version, L and R aren't really used. They could have been used to quick swap between your items, because even though it's easy and quick to choose items, it would be a lot easier if you could just press L and R, because that was a thing that was added in randomizers. So, similar to like in Ocarina of Time randomizers, they actually add the boots and the ocarina to the D-pad, because it's not used. Because the L button's used to turn your map on and off. Literally, the D-pad's not used for anything. We have red eyeballs. They cannot be hit by your sword, it just bounces off. You have to kill them with arrows, and they take about 2. There we are. So if you're quick enough, you're able to take them out pretty quick. And we got a full arsenal of arrows. Oh, this is prime. BAP! I'll teach them to be all wibbly. So yeah, we're almost done the first dungeon already. Didn't take that long, did it? Oh, poop. It's because they both woke up at pretty much at the same time, because they were right next to each other. That's not a problem. I was trying to pick up the pots. I was doing a bit too early, and I was just doing the cha-cha-cha. Let's grab these. All stocked up on arrows. All that's left is the boss. Let's go do it. The Almost Knights. Easy method on defeating these things. They can be hit by bombs, they can be hit by the boomerang, they can be hit by your sword as well. But arrows, it only takes 3 arrows to knock out each one. If you just stand here, you can pretty much just spam arrows and hit them all. Unless I miss a couple. I'm not the best crack shot in this game. But when you kill most of them, the last one will become red, gain a little bit of extra health, and will just stomp you. But if you've already hit him a couple of times with arrows, he'll only take a couple more arrows in order to defeat. Thankfully, despite him being in the air, our arrows can hit him, because they are arrows. We can shoot above us. Although I timed that wrong. There we are! And you do have to collect the heart container that the bosses drop in order for the dungeon's main item in order to drop. So you can't actually do 3 heart challenges in this game. You won the Pendant of Courage. Take it to Sahasrahla. 2 pendants remain! Fully recovered. We are done. I love that spin at the end. It's just so triumphant, and I like doing that in other games as well. I was like, I've done it! Spin to win! And I think that's where, like, the phrase first came from. Spin to win, because that's what you do when you win. Or spin for the win, as it was. But, you know, but Chaos Edition kind of changed that for me. Ocarina of Time Chaos Edition. Let's head back to Sahasrahla and tell him the good news. I came back alive and stronger than ever, good sir. So, you got the Pendant of Courage. I shall tell you more of the legend. And this is when all the icons would actually be added to the map. Generations ago, an order of the knights protected the Hylian royalty. These knights of Hyrule are also guardians of the Pendant of Courage. It has been said that whenever disaster waylays the royal family... Waylays? I might as well make mention now, since I haven't actually said that yet, that the GBA version does have a slightly better translation than the, or just slightly different dialogue than the Super Nintendo version, although the context is kept. It still pretty much tells the same story, but that word choice. Okay. A hero shall emerge from the bloodline of the Knights of Hyrule. Unfortunately, most of them were destroyed in the Great War against evil that took place when the Seven Sages created their seal, so it was thought that a hero would never again emerge. Because, if you remember, because of the timeline, even though this was released before Ocarina of Time, this is in the downfall timeline of Ocarina of Time, where you actually die against Ganon, specifically in the final boss battle, and the sages pretty much sealed the evil away, and that's pretty much what it was, because the sages had to do the job without the hero, and the knights, I guess, came out of hiding, because there was literally do or die, there was nothing else. They were relying on Link. But lo, I believe that you are the hero, Scatlink. Find the remaining pendants, and carry this with you. It is a treasure passed down by the families of the sages. I want you to have it. Carry with us boots. Why not we just wear them, like we pretty much do? He gave you the Pegasus shoes. Now you can execute a devastating dash attack. Hold the R button for a short time. An item that shall aid you is hidden in the cave on the east side of Lake Hylia. Go find it. Technically that's not required, but it is extremely helpful. And he's not the only one who actually tips you off about that particular thing that he just told us. We will go check that out at some point. However, we can now dash, and we can bonk as well. You can't change direction while dashing, but you do have your sword held out in front of you in order to get rid of enemies while charging. Fun fact! Cracked walls with a circle around them. You don't even need bombs, you can just bash the wall down. So that can save you a bomb or two if you're running low. That's why I saved this to later. And if you remember, sewers, funnily enough we get bombs here, the sewers also had holes with circles around them. So maybe we can do that when we get back down there. And we got another 100 rupees with 3 bombs, so that's quite nice. A little bit of a storage room there. Kind of looted his life savings, but it'll be put to a good cause, don't worry, mate. I've got plenty of money, I know, but I will definitely repay you at the end, because it's probably not that difficult. Get out of here, you. Thank you for the arrows once again. I think Almo statues can die pretty quick to arrows as well. I just tend to paralyze them to turn them back into stone for a short time and just get the hell out of dodge. So that's not really a problem. So we haven't really explored the entirety of this area. There's not really anything to explore. It's just a mountainous range that you just have to make your way through the maze, climb up in order to get to the Eastern Palace. And we've cleared that out 100%, so that's not a problem. I couldn't hit him. His shadow was above my head somehow. A bit of layering there. But yeah, we haven't been down here yet, so I'll check this out very quickly. And I haven't actually mentioned how I started at the beginning of Sahasrahla's house. I didn't actually start at Link's house or the Sanctuary because, you know, when you save the game and then come back to it at a later time. Because remember, it's got a save option. It doesn't say save or quit. Since I haven't actually done it yet, I might as well do this. You don't save and quit, and then you do not have to choose to respawn at the Sanctuary or at Link's house. It actually gives you the option if you want to continue after you save, which is extremely helpful. But the GBA version also allows you to save at your last save point, basically from the last door that you went through. This is just a very elaborate fairy fountain that wraps around the mountain, so fair enough, that's not really anything useful. We can't do anything about this yet. But yeah, it's nice quality of life choice there, so I just saved at Sahasrahla, and because that was the last door I went through, that makes a transition at least from the overworld or not, that's where I start, so very helpful. And we'll be getting into some more tips about how that could be very nice to use. That's probably unintended as well. So we were told about the cave north of... Ouch. Ouch. This is not working well. Okay, I'm trying to charge a spin attack, but you won't let me. Bugger off, please. Thank you for the health. That, I barely turned around in time in order to block that. You know what, screw you, mate. I should use my own arrows to kill you, but I'm just gonna boomerang you. Collect you my cash winnings. We could go south to Lake Hyrule right now in order to go do everything over there at the moment, but since we now have the ability to actually dash, we might be able to knock some stuff off of shelves, and I want to go do that. So let's go back to Kakariko Village, because I remember that there was a book in the library that we couldn't actually read, and since we were told about the legend by Sahasrahla, maybe he learned it from that book, so maybe that book will tell us other stuff as well. Plus, we're going to need it otherwise, and we're going to have to backtrack anyway, so breaking the fourth wall just a tad. We're going to have to come back here anyway, so might as well just do it now. So let's make our way to the library all the way around here. The land of Hyrule may seem pretty big, but you can traverse it pretty quickly. And then with the Pegasus shoes, it's a cinch. You found the Book of Medora! You can use it to read the ancient language of the Hylia. Helpful. So I guess it won't give us any knowledge, it just translates prescribed runes and stuff, perhaps. But yeah, we still don't really have anything to do at Kakariko, so that's kind of a waste of time. So, where to go now? Seems like we've got to go down to the Desert Palace. But to be honest, I would rather go and do what Sahasrahla told us to do at this point. Because I wanted to get the book before we go do what Sahasrahla suggested us to do. So we're going to go make our way over that way next. So we'll make our way over this way. The map says we could probably cut down here, but there's a rock in the way, so that's not helpful. So we're going to have to go around south from our own house. Screw you, buddies. And in fact, we haven't actually grabbed the chest in our house. Oh, okay, hang on a minute. Hold the phone, attack this. In the GBA version, sometimes stones will shine and drop a lot of money. Once it drops the red rupee, stop slashing it, because otherwise it will drop bombs. Don't know why that was the thing that was added to the GBA version. Maybe it's just so that it's easier for you to get money at a moment's notice if it happens. But yeah, that's a thing I wasn't expecting to happen this early. We haven't opened this chest yet. As I've said before, the chest in the house, as well as the chest in the where you find your uncle, the pathway to the garden passageway, I guess, as well as next to Zelda, they're all linked, and they will give you the lamp, and once you get the lamp, the other chests will have 5 rupees. And you know what, since we do have to go south in the next episode, and this is actually a spawn point that you can spawn in on the SNES version, I think this is actually a good point to stop for now. So, in the next episode, guys, we will be going to the cave that Sahasrahla told us at the east of Lake Hyrule, explore that area, and then we'll head to the next nearest pendant, which seems to be in the desert section of our map. So with that, guys, I'll see you guys then.